It's week 3 in the NFL, and we've got questions. What will Brandon Marshall do for an encore against Rex and the Jets?
Will Tom Brady ever throw the ball to someone not named Edelman?
Are your Broncos in trouble with a supersized rematch against Seattle?
And have any other football stars been injured or suspended since this program began?
These questions and more answered on today's Fantasy War Room Live.
Waffle House. Now, wide receivers.
Wide receivers.
Obviously, Mr. Number One.
Calvin Johnson. A little bit of a quiet week last week.
Yeah.
For him.
Tough and it's tough. Well, the fumble Stiltskin. Detroit had 3 fumbles in the first quarter. They shot themselves in the foot via the junk, which is, if you say like, oh, I Detroited myself, that's what you did. So it was tough for their offense to get on track. But this week, against Green Bay, Green Bay made Geno Smith look awesome last week at times. Awesome.
He did. And then if you look at Calvin Johnson's schedule coming up, at New York Jets, yes please. Buffalo, yeah, sure.
Have some.
At Minnesota.
Delish.
New Orleans.
Goody.
At Atlanta.
Oh.
When the Lions go into their bye, Calvin Johnson will be standing atop the NFL looking down across the Serengeti like he's the Lion King.
Megatron, you're number 1 again. Easy Starscream. This is the week, we were saying this before the show, if someone in your league has, I almost said that. Guys, if someone in your league has Calvin Johnson, he might not be very good at fantasy, so you could probably get him for, like a Donald Brown.
Sure.
The guy that has Calvin Johnson in your league, maybe because he had a rough second week, maybe this is the week where you're just trying to see if you can offer him a comparable wide receiver, a good running back, and maybe a backup tight. Just throw a trade at him because over the next 5 to 6 weeks, he's going to be a monster.
Yeah, give him, I would say, offer up a great RB1 plus Wes Welker. See if he'd bite on that.
Maybe you're the guy that had Welker, stashed him away.
Who knows?
He's got at least 2 games left in him before he thinks he's from Hawaii.
Man. Welcome back to the playing field, Wes Welker. You're at Seattle this week.
Yes. Oh, gosh.
The last time they played at Seattle, he got walloped.
He did. Oh, in 2012. Didn't Cam Chancellor just send him from one sideline to the other?
Yeah, it was gross.
Ugh. And now he has to wear that Macy's Day Parade helmet. Welcome back to a very sensitive special edition of the War Room. Today we're talking about parade helmets and salt-free pretzels.
The Don BB.
Yeah. Oh, gosh.
So, listen, I don't have anything to quibble with in your rankings here as we go through the top 5, maybe in the top 10. Jordy Nelson, 30 targets through 2 games. That is astounding. Nobody else even has more than 25. If you have Jordy, man, I'm jealous. I don't have him in any of my leagues, and I'm jealous. I want him.
Yeah. Don't you wish you drafted him?
Yeah.
But he's been kind of brittle.
It's true.
I think it was 2 years ago, Houston was either undefeated or only had but a loss on the season. And everyone was thinking they were a juggernaut. Eventually they got derailed in New England and got beat in the playoffs by them as well. But there was this strange, I think it was a Sunday night game, or maybe a Monday nighter, where they played Green Bay, and Jordy Nelson just coming back from an injury just went off.
Oh yeah.
He's kind of a matchup nightmare in a lot of ways because you saw last week where he just blew by D. Milner on that great catch deep an 80-yard run.
Yep.
So 6'3", big hands, great hands, and deceivingly fast.
Yes, deceivingly fast.
Big, great hands. Big. Man, he's got some of the biggest, greatest hands.
And you throw that with Randall Cobb, too, who's, I think, I was checking out Roto Arcade on Yahoo. Great blog.
Excellent blog.
And I think that he has 9 of Randall Cobb's last 12 games. He has 10-plus fantasy points. Just gets it done every week. And beautiful eyes.
Gorgeous eyes.
Just
you pair those eyes with Jordy's hands.
He distracts cornerbacks.
And Rodgers' chin. Yeah. Goal, Pack, goal. How would you like to be the team right now that grabbed Cobb in the 3rd or 4th round, depending on where he may have gone, and then you grabbed Edelman in the 5th or 6th? There are some guys out there that are not the sexiest names in terms of wide receivers because we all fawned over like, oh, I got to grab Alshon Jeffrey so earlier.
Here's what's impressive about Julian Edelman is that he was just a PPR machine last year, but like didn't rack up a lot of yards.
It was like 105 catches for like only 1,000 yards.
Yeah,
that's tough to
and
do.
didn't get in the end zone often.
Nope.
And this year he's getting in the end zone.
Yeah, he's scoring.
Yeah. Plus, you feel that with 8 straight games of 6+ catches, something that nobody else can say that they've done in the NFL right now, and that's just again, I'm annoyed that I don't have him.
Yeah, I wish. Just one of those guys where like he wasn't he wasn't Brandon Marshall, he wasn't Dez. You should like it's starting to seem that you probably should have gone sexier running back and waited on the wide receivers because guys like Percy Harvin, guys like Julian Edelman, guys like Jeremy Maclin and Randall Cobb are getting the job done, and they were not first 3 rounders.
I'm glad you mentioned Jeremy Maclin because he's got a great matchup this week. He scored each of the first 2 weeks, and he only has 8 catches on 21 targets. So he and Nick Foles haven't really worked out that chemistry. That's going to get better as the year goes on. So he's already done well so far, and he's going to get better. If you can get in on his action, get in on that action now. Yeah, I want some Jeremy Maclin.
Love to go deep on that action. How about Mike Wallace?
I
scored
actually
first 2 weeks.
In my notes, I was like, we have to say nice things about Mike Wallace. Which is something I haven't done in a very, very long time because he always had a reputation as a deep threat with not great hands, and he is making contested catches on short throws in the red zone.
I always thought Mike Wallace's route tree was a redwood.
Yes.
That's it. Just this is the route he runs, and now he's running corner routes. He's running fades,
making the tough catches that he has always dropped.
I know. I feel like he's like impersonating Brian Hartline, but with Mike Wallace's speed.
That's yeah. I have dropped Brian Hartline in like 3 leagues. Wow. I was like, yeah, he's useless now because Mike Wallace is making the catches.
Yeah, Mike Wallace is actually playing the role of wide receiver. Now, somebody that I actually am a little bullish on this week and may come as a bit of a surprise, your old pal, Golden Tate. Why? GBF, Green Bay Factor.
Yeah, the Green Bay Factor, and in my my other show, Keepers, I have I believe I said nice things about Golden Tate. No, I didn't. That got cut from the show. But I still like Golden Tate this week because Megatron's getting triple teamed even, and it's just. It's tough to get Golden Tate. Like with your second cornerback in single coverage, he gets open.
Right.
And a great player for yards after the catch.
Think about all the attention that's going to get paid from Green Bay's patchwork garbage town secondary and just overall blah defense. It's all going to get rolled over to Calvin Johnson. Golden Tate might just be.
Clinton Dix is nothing to sneeze at, but he did get worked.
Rarely do I sneeze at Dix.
He did work.
I'm done. I rarely do I sneeze at
But Ricardo Lockett did work him over in the open field in week 1. So he's still a rookie, you know. Yeah. And yeah, no, I like Golden Tate this week.
I think he's actually a pretty smart play. Also, could be a decent week. I've been disappointed so far by T.Y. Hilton. Hasn't really done as much as I thought he would have.
I think he's due for a great week. He and Reggie Wayne are both must-starts this week against Jacksonville.
Absolutely.
Just because I saw how wide open the Redskins wide receivers are. And Reggie Wayne and T.Y. Hilton are better than, well, Deshaun Jackson's all right, but I'm not that impressed by Pierre Garçon.
Right.
So, yeah, give T.Y. Hilton a start, give Reggie Wayne a start.
And Marcus Colston, decent on the season so far. I'm going to give him a little bit of a bump up. He's top 20ing for me this week, although I do expect the number 1 tight end, who we'll be speaking of momentarily, to probably beast in that game. A little RVI, FRVI, fantasy relevance via injury. When other guys that have been taking touchdowns away, like Mark Ingram, who's scored 3 touchdowns on the season before breaking his hand, they're going to have to go to someone now. Maybe Drew Brees decides to start throwing him again. Colston could actually sneak one of those.
See, I have Brandon Cooks ahead of Marcus Colston this week because I think without Mark Ingram, they're going to swing things over to the short passing game a little bit more, and that's going to favor Brandon Cooks.
You think so?
And we're going to see him like on some sweeps, some end arounds. I think Brandon Cooks is the man to start.
Well, New Orleans is in the Superdome, so maybe they'll get some home Cooks in. Which camera?
I believe the show's over now. We got just a couple more seconds on wide receivers. I want to make special note. Sammy Watkins, welcome to the NFL.
Yeah.
8 for 117 on 11 targets. 11 targets. EJ Manuel I like to say give him the Hispanic name, Manuel. Threw the ball 26 times, and 11 of those targets went to Sammy Watkins.
And I think he even meant 7 of them. He's not the most accurate quarterback in football.
There's also a little bit of buzz about Davante Adams, rookie wideout for Green Bay. Jarrett Boykin had a drop in the end zone in week 2, and Davante Adams then started getting snaps as a third wideout. Got 5 catches for 50 yards, almost had a touchdown. And if he ends up being that Green Bay third wideout, I'd say if you don't have a deep wide receiving core, go ahead and pick up Davante Adams now before he has a great game and there's a waiver claim rush for him.
Right, before there's a run on him. But and also to consider, Green Bay doesn't have a tight end that they're in love with this year, so it's really going to be. I think that's why we're seeing a lot of 3 wide receiver sets, because the tight end, if anything, because of the injuries they've had on the offensive line, they're probably keeping the tight ends in a little bit more to protect Rodgers and block. So therefore, it's really all about the wide receivers. I think he's a great pickup this week.
All right.